ever billed for Kim's services?
I know I am now. I
Okay.
haven't looked back to the prior years yet.
Okay.
It would be part of the reports though that would have been finalized.
What we didn't know is Kim gets this stipend, and we don't believe that the stipend was ever taken from the COA funds, as it was supposed to have been.
Can we go backwards? I mean, is there any?
Mhm.
So we may be able to capture some.
We can go back maybe 4 years, because that's the 4-year window that Stuart is working off of. But I don't know how long this has been going on. Well, no, the COA officer position was established in 2008 or 9. 8 or 9. So that's how long we have to go back to just check.
Is that a required position?
Yes,
Yeah.
mandated.
Over MHL.
Yep.
Everybody
I'm
has to have
NHL certified.
Which brings us to another thought process about this particular COA fund. We have to look and do a lot of research. We can discuss. It has to do with that ordinance that we did earlier in the book, but in the agenda. But we really need to take a look, and maybe Lorraine's going to have to spend some extra time in the COA, just because of deposits that have been made, and we have to look at doing research there too.
And if we can recoup these monies, how?
To the general budget, if we can.
Yeah, can they be?
We can find the paperwork that we paid for it in the general fund and didn't bill back COA, then we can present it to the COA, to DCA, and actually bring money back into the township through the COA fund. That's why the number was the way that it was.
I would report it as an administrative expense.
Okay, but that would actually not affect this year's budget. That would
It
affect
could.
next year's budget.
It could. We don't know. We have to look. These are the little things that.
Yeah, I suspect it's probably going to be. We need to do it, but I
We need
suspect
to do
it's
it
probably not
before,
going to help us this year.
well, if we need to do it before July 17th.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
Because there's
I know.
$2 million more in there.
I just mean for accounting purposes.
$200,000 more in there.
Yes, no,
I mean,
I
I
know.
wish.
I know. I just mean for accounting purposes.
Yes,
whether
no,
we can get the
absolutely.
credit this year.
We need Kim's salary looked at, and we also need to go back in and delve into that COA fund.
And for utilities, I based that off of prior years as well. There were slight increases to account for any invoices that weren't paid prior to the end of the year, since utilities bill in arrears. So we would have been getting invoices in January for December electrical and phone use.
Okay.
Right, I'm surprised that we're not budgeting a higher amount for gasoline and diesel. I mean, that doesn't seem like, I mean, we're talking an increase of $490. And a
What was
substantial
the-
increase in the cost of
I'm saying, what was the rate last year on average for,
much lower than it is today.
per gallon?
I don't know.
But I know it fluctuated. It was high and then it went.
Diesel's gone up,
We're in a
it's
co-op.
not gas.
We're
We're in a co-op, and the
Actually,
co-op
we're
has
not
a
in a co-op.
specific rate. Huh?
We're not in the co-op anymore. You guys told me to.
No, we're in a different co-op.
No, 6 area, do the co-op for the gasoline and diesel.
So we have a standardized rate no matter what the
Oh, so it's a
increases
flat
are.
rate, so that's why.
And then I do the shared services with the county for the rock salt.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the co-op,
Right.
we're
So
saying
we
that
buy in bulk.
we're only,
We buy in bulk.
You do it by, what is it?
so it's only, I'm still saying, only a $500 increase that we're budgeting for?
We have the co-op, do we have the co-op fees yet, the co-op members yet?
You're not
They're
saying
going
the
out
price-
to bid.
price
Okay.
per gallon, You're talking about the usage. Like,
I'm just saying, even in a co-op, the
Right.
price, the increase of fuel, I can't imagine that we're gonna be able to
We're
get
gonna
away
go
with
out-
a $490 increase on this line item.
You negotiate that annually or biannually or?
It's annually.
It's
Well,
annual.
I mean, if you look at this, the electricity, we spent 47, she budgeted 50, so there's 3,000 there.
Yeah.
We've got another 4,000 in street lighting, but we have a little
Now the
extra
street
there.
lights are all working.
No,
right?
they're not all working.
No.
I've counted them.
There's some cells.
Yeah.
There's down that
Four-
street.
We have
Yeah.
another 2,500 in telephone.
There's 4 or 5 of them out.
Turn them all on.
They're on all day long, you know.
I've got a
Yeah,
lot
they are on all day long.
compliments about those lights. I mean, they're a little funky, some of them.
To be able to see the stars, turn the lights
No, but
on.
they're
yeah,
on
they
during
will.
the day, which is a
Oh,
problem.
absolutely not.
No, it's way less than that.
I don't
know if we're being billed, but they're on all day long.
And get rid of the parade too.
You ready?
Get rid of the parade too.
Not
No,
to
no,
take
no.
community day while you're out.
Like, they're on during the day, which is a problem. Yeah.
Oh, they're on during the day, then the photo cell
They're on
shot.
during the day.
Okay.
Yeah, but like
Well,
I
that's,
said,
we
there's,
talked, okay.
But that's, yeah,
So-
you need to do your survey on what
Turn it
ones
to
are working
manual when
and
you
what
go out
ones
and turn them
aren't.
on and off every day.
All right.
Can we do something for next meeting, to have some information on that for next meeting?
Is it
Yeah.
programmable,
Yeah.
is it programmable in the meter? Is that how it
No.
would be set up? How do we
The
have it
meters
set?
just, provide you juice
Only turn them
and
off
meters
until they work
use.
right.
It's in the fixture itself relative to the ballast,
So when-
plate,
Oh my
and
God.
the photo cell, so it's,
it
Do
must
you know how
not
much
be
money
working.
we're talking
No.
to each individual lights?
Yeah, all right.
yeah.
I know, but it just,
Okay,
it
but-
looks wasteful.
How much was
Fine.
it? How much did we spend? What was that, what would you say, $60-some?
Oh, per, yeah,
On a
60
photo
bucks,
cell? On a
that's
photo
all.
cell?
So when the lights
No.
were on, we spent $60-some
$60 a month for
Uh-huh.
all the lights.
all day long.
Well, no,
No.
I think that's when they were working, so it was only at night.
No, they were on during the
Just,
day.
all right, let's not go
Yeah,
into
yeah,
this.
we're getting
You know,
down to
it's
the
like,
kill it.
go into and
Get off the
get,
subject.
just see if we can have an answer for next meeting.
He has the answer.
For the all-day situation?
Yeah, he has to put a meter in each individual light.
Okay.
This-
No.
And ballast.
No, it's not the meter that.
No, no.
Or, it's
Photo
like,
cell.
What's that?
Doing an increased gasoline then?
I mean, it's up to the committee. I'm just saying, I know how much I'm spending driving to Bridgewater every day, and it's, my increase is a lot more, individually, $500.
Let's look at what Kim gets for the bids for this. Kim, when do we expect that?
in a month or so.
Oh, we can't wait a month, but can you call and ask for prices that they have?
Maybe they can give you a verbal, just to kind of say,
Zero.
You're just collecting the data now from each municipality as to how many gallons. Then they're gonna go out to bid.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they're not there yet.
All right, because they don't have to be there till July.
Right.
Okay. That's one of the things that's bad. The state stuff going, it doesn't have to be done till July.
we're not on the same page.
All right.
Okay.
So let me just ask this question on the utilities. So has the utility rates gone up from last year to this year, or are they still pretty much the same? Because
I think they took the major
well,
jump
let me
last
finish,
year.
because if it hasn't gone up, then we have a little bit of surplus money in these other line items over here. And if we need for gasoline, then
That's
we
what I
can.
just
We
said.
can come back.
Yeah.
We can come
For each
back.
individual line items though.
Okay,
We can come back.
Oh, you can?
yeah.
Yeah,
For
so
example.
if you do have extra electricity, you have to wait until November to transfer it over to gasoline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're all separate line items, specific line
That's
items.
right, that's when you can take whatever extra surplus is left, it was in
The
the.
one full transfer.
Right, I remember that.
Okay.
And I didn't hear you say that, I'm sorry.
I was wondering, how much have we spent in gasoline so far?
Yeah, that's a good question. Multiply by 3, by 4.
Oh, what we spent this quarter?
Right.
We should do that.
That's
Yep.
why I wanted to make sure we had.
We should do that to make sure that the
Everybody's
estimate
gotta
is.
take a look at their
we don't
charges.
get caught in like October.
Right, right. What I suggested to Joe earlier today is that even though we normally look at the budget once, we should be doing an LE5 and LE9 latest estimate and be reviewing this more often throughout the year. So we should be
Quarterly,
doing
which is
that.
what
Right.
we talked
So
about.
Lorraine, is this 32,000, is this for the half of the year?
That's budgeted, it looks like. Encumbered is 9,700.
That's how much money we did put in so far, because we put
You've
in,
done 2 quarters, right? That you put in?
Yeah, but they haven't, you haven't spent it.
they haven't spent it.
No,
That's
but what I'm saying is, okay, so she has 32,000 in.
That was 2 quarters.
Right.
That's why I wanted everybody to see this, because it's got the budgeted amount that
Page 9.
we put in already.
It's showing what was spent and what was allocated.
Both.
It shows both. It shows
Well,
that you
what we
allocated
put in already.
32,000 and that you expended about 13,000.
And where are we right
Our
now?
temporary budget was $32,000. Right now I have pending payment $9,800, the middle of page 9.
I don't have it, I don't know where my
So
copy's
far,
down, but it's okay.
spent
Thanks
was
for call-
13,000,
Yes, thanks for
so
calling me
that
back.
if you add the 2 of those together, it would be about
Wait, so-
22,000 year to
Right.
date that has been spent,
What
or will be
is
spent
that?
tomorrow.
Okay, so based upon that, the 67.5 should be fine.
Because we have a question with that.
We would hope.
I'm sitting here at a budget.
Okay, but it's, I mean, it's good to at least check in, that
But
it's
this is how you
not.
can check, to see
Yeah,
if
yeah.
your department's running on track.
No, based upon those numbers, we're okay. Okay.
Right, this is-
I keep
that
in mind
was
though
for
that
quarter.
we're behind in bills. Like, we didn't just get a gasoline delivery today. today and I'm paying it tomorrow, this could be
Be
a month
falling
behind.
outside of the month, right?
Yeah, so I mean, we're
Well,
May
and
first,
it
I
all
would
has to
think.
do with actually putting the purchase orders through in the way that they're supposed to be, and the encumbrance system is supposed to be.
Right, but we may not
It's
get a
not
Finch
been
bill.
done that way.
We may not get a Finch bill for gasoline
Right.
and diesel
I understand.
until 2 weeks after the
But still,
delivery.
based upon the numbers you read, for
Yeah, I would
me,
say that
It's
this is for
looking
the
very
first
good.
It looks
4 months
okay.
of the year.
Yeah,
We're looking okay.
yeah, I agree.
but it's good that we checked it.
Okay, so we're leaving gasoline as is for
I
now?
think
For
so.
now,
For
yeah.
now.
Okay.
Under fire safety code, under uniform fire safety.
The total underneath that is the total
You
that
had
are inside the
$4,500
appropriations cap.
budgeted in
I'm
2000.
sorry, where are we? Oh, yeah, I see, okay, yep.
Yeah, the 2.999. So you're almost at $3 million inside cap. So the only reason that that's important is because that's the amount that's limited. Everything below that is not limited with your
And
capital.
nothing was expended out of that.
We get in next to the statutory expenditures, the PERS and PFRS.
Mhm.
They've already been paid so far this year. And that's the annual employer contribution. That's non-negotiable.
Right, I guess that's what I'm saying, okay.
Item.
Right.
Social Security would be the employer share, Social Security taxes,
Mhm.
spike and whatnot. There's nothing going on in police dispatch. I don't know what used to be spent out of there.
Let me let
but,
you talk to Jill on that.
There was nothing going on in 2011.
Okay.
Anything before that? I
Okay.
didn't see any.
Okay.
What is it?
The last spent was 2009, $2,100.
What is that?
I don't know.
It says police
That
dispatch.
Dave Barretto
Police dispatch,
for
salary
fire
and wages.
purchase Tom.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna put it on.
No idea.
We haven't had
what
a
it was.
police dispatcher in
Okay.
15 years. But I know, I
Dave?
mean, I never even seen that.
Okay, you're on speaker.
Hi, Dave,
Hi, Dave.
Township Committee here. What's, are we gonna ask the
Fire.
the fire?
Uniform fire safety code.
Yeah, Uniform Fire Safety Code, there was a line item of, $2,000 going back to 2009, there
Yeah, that was
hasn't been.
45 and chip.
Yeah, back to 2009, there were line items for that, and there has never been any expenditure from that, so we wanted to have a conversation with you, see if we can cut that from the budget.
What I just told Kim is last year we were gonna try to spend some money. CFO at the time, I could not get a number out of her as to what we had to spend. We were gonna use some of the money because we have to take our classes to keep our licenses up, and Bob and I were going to attend the seminar.
Okay.
Oh, he's got to.
Yeah.
He's got to keep his license.
Do you have an estimate of what your continuing education costs would be?
I missed that, I couldn't hear you.
Do you have an estimate for us as to what your continuing education costs would be?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Yeah, do you think you could look into that and get,
$2,000?
that,
Did Joe Mexi submit a budget for the fire company?
Yes.
Did he? It
Is
should
that
be
all
on.
under there?
It should be on.
Oh, I see, so it's in there already?
I think it might be under the fire company budget, part of that. They might have broken it down. When I talked with them, I thought that's where we were putting all that, like.
Okay, so that's what we have to
I
verify.
want to look at what he gave you, and the numbers and stuff might be in there.
Okay.
Okay. All
But-
right.
I'm
but-
not 100% sure, but I think that's where it might be.
All right, we'll check that.
All
Thanks,
right,
Dave.
Dave, thanks.
Sorry to bother you.
Hey, guys, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So we need to check. I only saw the one number, one large number. I didn't see a breakdown of anything, so you must have the breakdown?
I'm sure I do.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't have it under Joe either. It's under fire and safety code, it's not under Joe's.
Yeah, I know, but fire and safety code would be under Joe's, but they only have that volunteer allotment.
Yeah.
They only have that. They didn't put the
Yeah,
regular.
it should be under
Right,
here, yeah.
Oh, I see, there's just no,
Yeah.
it's a one line, so we don't
Uh-huh.
know. Yeah, we
We
need to
don't
see,
know.
we need to see that.
Because it's not broken down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that brings us to the top of page 10, the local finance board waivers. We don't have any. We're not exceeding anything or going outside the scope of a normal
Okay.
municipal budget, so
Which
we
is one of
have,
the questions I asked you, we had to go to the finance board.
no, we do not.
Okay.
This is where, Tanya, the shared service for the CFO shows up.
Okay,
Right
On
on
Okay.
21
page
page
20.
page 10.
mm-hmm.
and that's the contribution for salaries and wages, healthcare, and pension.
Okay.
The grants are next. These are normally directly offset by the revenue anticipation. The only one that I have is the clean community.
I'm sorry, just one question though. But isn't this gonna change though with what we were talking about? That you added income for you for the days that you've
That
been
would be
working?
part of your shared service. You have a contract with Alpha for a specific amount for a certain number of hours. That would be if there were any payment for excess hours.
If we, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
If we needed her for extra time, but it's
That's
over and
on us.
above what our general,
Right.
it
Yeah,
would
we
come
put it
out of
somewhere
somewhere
Yeah,
else.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
So how do you actually get paid for that? How do we process that? That's through a regular payroll? Or how do we pay that?
For what, the shared services?
Yeah.
It's
No,
paid-
not shared service, for the extra time for Lorraine.
We
How do we
submit a
do
check
that?
to Alpha, and Alpha pays her.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the shared, I'm talking about the extra time.
Yeah.
You're saying the same thing?
No, if we needed her for a specific thing to do something different,
You mean like the $7,500 line, not
Right,
this line?
Yeah, how do we pay,
That
how do we
would
pay
be-
for that?
we'd have to generate a check as
Right.
an employee, because it's not in regards to the shared services.
But does that, so that goes through as a payroll, it would be through the payroll company?
Yeah, and I've already spoken to Alpha about that. They know that's a possibility that we were going to have to use her on Saturdays and evenings and things in case we.
That is a temporary situation.
Yeah.
That-
Oh,
that's not
absolutely.
it.
Oh, yeah.
To get out of the backlog.
It's just,
Oh, no,
it's just a
it's just-
I
cleanup.
really do enjoy spending
It's a-
every other Saturday here, but that's not.
It's a
Eventually things
cleanup.
will be caught up and I won't have to be here as much, I would.
There are specific areas that need to be looked into. One is the COA. The other one was things that we had going on, which you have already so graciously been here.
And the hope is that in looking into the COA, that we can get a substantial amount of money back, in terms of things that should have come out of that fund that haven't, so I think
I
that
mean,
would be.
in addition to Kim's
Yes,
$2,000?
yes.
What other kinds of things would come out?
Well, we-
Professional fees.
There
Over
may
the
be
years.
professional fees that we paid to the professionals that were not actually identified as COA fees.
Mhm.
And that's what we're specifically looking for, because there is such a difference between what's in the bank and what we know to be.
So do the professionals bill? Do they identify when they bill that
It
there's
all
COA?
depends. There was a point where they didn't, but now they do. There was a time when they didn't. And
So when,
it
so
could
Mike,
be
you
a
now
long
bill,
time ago.
when did you start
Well,
that
no,
practice?
I've always had a job name, and the name of the job is COA.
He's always been
So
that way.
therefore, I'm assuming when
Right.
I
Your
submitted
fees can be
bills
back
for
on.
years and years
They're
They're gonna
now,
be separated.
that it was paid for out of COA, but I don't know.
There
where
was a
it's paid
planner
for
before
out.
the planner that we have now that we're thinking that may not have been exactly where, that's where it may have gone a little crazy, because that was when we were just implementing new structures for COA and DCA was involved in that. So it's something we're going to research. Can't say that it's definitely a positive. We just know that we need Lorraine to do it.
Well, here's a potential big one.
Yes, Mike?
A couple of years ago, or maybe a year ago, when we were doing all that work associated with the Dow property.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, you could, it's not even that much of a
Oh,
stretch.
No, it's not.
That's a fairly,
Fairly
on point,
straightforward.
legit,
Yes, it is.
and there was a lot of
Lot.
time and effort spent.
Yes, it
And-
is.
So that could have
Exactly.
been
And
tens
like
of
in those
thousands of
charges, when I
dollars.
inputted when I went through the system,
Can we go
because
back?
I inputted in 2011 charges,
Mhm.
I went back all the way to the year 2000 to look at administrative costs, legal expenses, engineering expenses. There's hardly anything there.
Oh, really?
So that's the problem for
Oh,
us.
there's definitely,
So
there's
Yeah.
money.
we
Yeah.
believe that there's money possibly in the general budget that may have been identified, maybe not last year, maybe not the year before, it could be back, 2006, 2005, really, seriously,
yes.
this is a big deal.
That might close our gap.
It may,
Every
and
time
that's
there
why
was-
I'm sweating
It was
bullets trying to
when they
figure
changed the
out.
methodology. There was a lot of work done by the various
I remember
attorneys
we weren't on
and
computer,
planners. and-
we weren't on
I
computer,
know.
and
It
we
was-
were just, we didn't know what was, we finally got the purchasing order system in place, we should be using it effectively now. including the escrows, which Lorraine has finally gotten on, which is a big deal, and Mike, you're on target with the escrow stuff, so I'm hoping that we can keep it that way. Okay. So, we have to talk about what Mike just discussed, is the $150,000 grant that we got in 2008, where it's possible that those costs associated with that $150,000 was never really utilized in the budget. That is yet another area where we have to research.
Kim, there's the
It was
bond
taken out of
ordinance.
the budget and
There's
not
the
used for the
2008
bond
budget, so,
ordinance.
Exactly.
and I see nothing, I mean, again, this isn't my field.
So we have to identify all the things that Mike
Anticipated
actually.
revenue entry at all in that budget, which is where it should have showed up for the first time.
2009, if they were after the fact, they were adopted. They wouldn't show up until the engineers.
Yeah, but the bond ordinance was adopted at the end of '07. So I would think that the '08 budget would have shown, right? Wouldn't that normally be?
It would reflect differently if it's not a budget comparison. It
Here's
should show
what-
in the head.
Yeah, well, so again,
No,
I
agree.
you're right.
Agree, but the
I
other
don't.
thing is that we have to
Not
identify
yet,
from Mike's bills.
Yeah, I should look in the AFS, not the budget. So,
Okay, so
permanent document.
this is something that's up for,
I have that.
up for review, and it's something that we may be taking into consideration moving forward for the next workshop.
And the other thing, for if Lorraine's gonna look into this, that she should keep tabs on, or in conjunction with when the project was actually first started, and billings to the contractor, payments to the contractor, I don't know whether or not the DOT reimbursed us for a portion of that grant to date or not. I don't, so.
You didn't prepare a submission.
Well, yeah, we did, but I don't know what happened. So, I mean, when things leave my office, obviously, I don't know, and I never see when a check comes in, of course, so.
Would the auditor be able to tell us anything? Just as a,
You might, I mean, I can just look at the annual financial statement and see what's in there. It's not a hard thing to do.
okay.
We, where we stand right now is we're about $260,000 in the hole.
Well, I have a question actually on the grants. You mentioned a $30,000 safe and secure grant. Would there be anticipated expenditure of that in 2012 as well?
It'd be a direct offset.
So,
It'd be a direct offset.
right, so I mean, you've added 30,000 on one end, but you haven't subtracted it yet. In the very beginning of this conversation, we added 30,000. You need to now take it away.
I think we did.
No, you did not. Looking at the way we come up with these numbers here, as we're now at the end, we're on page 10, where we now
Grants
subtract.
are offsetting, so you have an equal revenue with an appropriation.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing we did, because we went from 372 to
Right,
342.
we did it under
Right,
revenue.
but now, that's on the revenue side, but now you
Okay.
need to take it away on the expenditure side.
It has an offset.
Okay.
So you need to, it's a zero net gain.
Exactly.
Right. What the effect would be is if that safe and secure is going to be used to pay wages for your police department, then you would reduce your police department wages by that 30,000.
And that would be worked into that.
And that's what it's for.
So I'm saying is you need to add another 30,000.
That's
To the gap?
Who's ever doing the running
That's
tally.
what
Oh, yeah, so
290,
we're up to
yeah.
290
Yeah.
as far as the gap. Almost, well, 290, but basically 291 if we're rounding it off.
Well, wouldn't you take the 30,000 and reduce it from the salary and wages for police?
Yeah. That's where your reduction comes in.
Okay.
Okay, and did we do that?
So we know we
No,
have
we have
some
not
work to
done
do.
that.
We're
We haven't
not-
done that.
You have not done
You haven't taken the 30,000 off.
Yeah, it ends up being a $30,000 savings to the budget. It's just not in the area that you think it'll be. It'll reduce the salaries and wages for police. by
Right, so it's back to 260, it's
Okay.
flat.
Yeah.
that. All right. Just trying to follow the dollars.
Right.
As long as there's no local contribution for that.
Okay, so we're at 260. Michael, you think that there is a possibility of looking in, we may be able to find 100 or 150, what did you say the number was?
Well, then that just goes back to the escrow account that Lorraine sent me, I don't know, a month ago or whatever it was. Remember that one, the big account, is there about $100,000 in there?
For our program?
Yes, isn't it about
Yeah,
$100,000?
93.
Okay. I think from previous conversations with previous CFOs that money is old driveway permit reviews, a lot of it, which goes back 10 plus years in some cases. Now, I don't know what the rules are about.
She does.
And
You had this discussion.
you had stepped out before. It would be next to impossible to ever try to reconcile that, because you're talking about 900 to 1,000 deposits for individual lots that accumulated $50 here, $100 here for.
That wasn't a standard fee for a driveway?
Yeah. Yeah. But there wasn't a standard
One,
bill.
two.
There wasn't a standard bill. The fee was, there was a $200 escrow and a $50 fee. Now, whether that was lumped together, I don't know. What should have happened is that if my bill for doing that driveway permit review, there were all these houses built, so there was a lot of activity for. If my bill was, let's say, $150, the township gets the 50, they should have got a refund of $50. But my understanding is that my bills were paid out of general engineering,
General fund.
and that money just, and you had 1,000 driveways, that's why there's $100,000.
Plus the interest.
So it really should be, it's really our money,
Your
township
money.
money, because
Well,
you got
that's
paid every
where,
time.
I don't know where it becomes our money. I mean, that would be a
We've got to
beautiful thing, correct?
Yes.
And the reality is this, that, you know, I can't ever imagine, it would be, talk about paying her extra for jobs outside the scope of her role. This would take her a year, in my opinion, to try and reconcile this. It would be an act of Congress. If we could somehow,
Well,
I don't know.
she has already told me how we can, it'll take some time, but there's a certain amount of time where the account is not being used.
You take control of it.
We,
You
That's
can
why
come
I
here,
looked at
right.
it.
You know,
That's
like
why I
two
looked at it.
applications or something.
You shouldn't just take next Congress, just take an act through the township committee.
exactly.
That's why I looked at it.
When
And
you
honestly, that's
do
why
these things-
I'd rather do that, and then if anybody we deal with an individual issue as it arises, you know what I'm saying? It's been dormant for so long, I think, and I'm looking to you, if there's a way that we can undertake action to take that money
Yeah.
and we apply it towards, and if anybody wants to come with us with proofs, we'll deal with it then.
How does she calculate what the actual dollar amount is?
What's in the escrow?
It's just what's everything
Yes.
escrow?
I want the whole thing.
Where is that on this?
It's not here, because that's where separate, you have that. Pay the $50 separate,
So, wow, you have a $93,000
Yes.
escrow?
That's different.
I think we should take the whole thing, apply it towards this deficit.
Let her talk to the auditor, then we'll,
Deal with it.
and then we have the 150 we're talking about, and some of the others. So
It's possible to do 93,000.
We may be able to get there.
That's
Yep.
not
But
good.
she should talk to the auditor.
Okay, so then for the
Jeremy
next.
said.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, why don't you talk to the auditor on that, and then I think it's just an action of the committee,
So
if
the
the auditor's
achievement
okay
process
with it.
is one, if you have money, and Brad's probably familiar with this, if you have money sitting in an account that's due to somebody and you can't find who that person is, generally, companies are required to escheat that money to the state.
To find the
That's
person
if
to
you
do
know
it.
who the owner is and you can't
Finding
get
it.
in touch with them. Like if I've tried to refund it to Joe taxpayer and he's moved several times and the check is outstanding for 3 years, what I should do is cancel the check, make a check for $50 to the state, say, hey, this is for Joe taxpayer, I can't find him. If I don't know who it is, that's
Oh, wait a
different
minute, this
bottom line.
has nothing to do with an individual person. It has to do with Mike having done driveway permits. The money was paid to Mike out of the general fund, and the monies lie in this escrow that should have been used
Right.
to deduct Mike's bills, and we are,
It's our money.
this goes
Yeah.
back to
We
the
don't
same
have
thing
any
as
money.
COA.
That's Mike's theory.
Yes, that's Mike's theory, and
And it
it's,
is only in theory.
Yeah, if you want to put that in writing, that you believe that's where it came from, I'd be happy
Oh,
to go from that and get approval from the auditor and
Yes.
turn that money over to.
You have copies of all your invoices?
oh, Mike has.
That'll show that.
Well, I have copies of all my invoices from 2001 to current. Obviously,
Okay.
pre-Finelli Consulting, I know.
And are they
Well,
paid?
What's that?
Are they all paid?
Oh, sure. They've been paid for, oh my God, years and years. I
Let's,
mean,
So you have
So
outstanding.
these
All right,
are
so
two
we're
things
gonna-
that we have to work on before we have our next budget workshop. Can somebody, can we figure out a date we can all work together on a meeting?
The two things are the 150 on the grant and the 93,000, basically,
is
right?
that what it is? Is it 150,000 escrow?
Well, we
Is
can't
that what it
really
is?
do
Okay.
So we basically have almost $250,000 in play right here on those two
Yeah,
items.
boy, don't put that.
I'm just, that's the best case scenario.
That's the best case
Okay,
scenario.
but before we take any other action
That's how we are.
and look at other line items in terms of where we may need to cut, we need to get an answer to this first.
Yes. So we're all listening to the mayor, right?
No, not at work, which means it's an normal meeting. I feel at home.
Because I don't know if the same thing occurred there, but maybe it
The two most important people to this conversation are, but that's okay, they're having a meeting, it makes sense. Maybe they'll work it out and they'll figure it out for us.
Perfect.
So,
All right.
did. But, okay.
So-
I'll give you an
are we at schedule mode right now?
We are.
Can I go get my calendar then?
I
We're
think
in
you
schedule
should.
mode. I don't see that we should really be going through page 11 without some of the answers to the following, the last 10 pages, but if you think you need to go back over this page 11, please feel free.
Okay, the capital improvement fund, that's just a lump generic payment that you all have been contributing that would act as a down payment or a potential funding source for any capital projects you have coming up. This capital section of your budget should be about 2 pages long. So this is the last year that it's just gonna be one lump sum. For the future years, it's gonna be road paving, it's gonna be sinkhole eradication.
So we're gonna have to be very specific as far as how you're gonna do
Right,
it.
now that doesn't mean that that money is only gonna be spent, if that's the intention that that money will be for that, say you wanna put 60,000 a year for road paving, then you can use that for chipping, you could use that for, going towards a DOT grant, you could save it up over 6 years. All the money that goes in here never goes away until it's canceled by resolution. It can be reappropriated in the future if we cancel it to the capital improvement fund, then you can reappropriate it by ordinance. You could have a fully funded capital ordinance, no
Right.
estoppel period, nothing like that. But you really need to have a more realistic capital plan. This portion of the budget is really lacking. It needs to be improved greatly.
Okay.
Pay-as-you-go financing is the best way, especially for smaller municipalities. Even if you're not gonna, even if you wanted to buy, say, a big, huge tandem dump truck in 6 years, you could put $20,000 a year aside, and then when it's time to buy it, the money will be there. Yeah, you don't have
So
to.
depending upon how we all look at all that's going on right now and all the questions that we have based on some research, we can revisit that capital. And
Yep.
if there's money there, we can put some away so that we can be,
A little more proactive.
A little bit more proactive
But
in the
really,
future,
like you all
yes.
to think of is, for our first budget meeting for 2013 in August of this year, if you all just come up with a capital wish list that you'd like to do, that you want road paving to be 60 grand a year, or you want to make a new salt shed, or you want to
Let's
make
see
a,
what I think about this.
whatever,
They get it
a new
tomorrow.
building, or a.
well, we
sunroof
have
for your
talked about that,
finances,
so.
Something like that.
Joe has come up with, we're gonna paint the walls, so we might have some,
So Monday, what do I got?
something to actually do that.
Yeah, you take it here.
I told you, I will paint myself.
I know you will.
I'm tired of looking at this.
I'd rather help us help Lorraine get the.
Well, I don't know, you have any donors, we can, I didn't know somebody could lay it for free.
Are they gonna have, is that enough time?
The only other option,
This out?
no. Information left in the
Yeah, it's too
budget is
soon,
the
maybe just
debt
for that
service
reason.
portion.
Okay.
That's really not an
I know.
negotiable.
Well, that is
That's-
Thursday.
That's your bond payment with the interest. Also in here is the 2011 emergency that has to be fully raised in this year's 2012 budget. That's $100,000. Your 5-year emergency is a deferred charge. There's several types of projects that you can raise over 5 years, the recodification,
I don't care.
a master plan, a revaluation.
Same with Dave.
We also talked about revamping the website and whether or not it actually goes into the 5-year plan for a capital improvement. I know that both you and Joe have talked about this. We've talked about it. We took the .org way of doing this back in 2008 because the .org was inexpensive for us to do. We didn't have, if you look back at 2008, 2009's information and what we were faced with in 2009, you will see that we were really in bad straits in 2009.
Yeah, I would, if there's a way of doing that, we could, because I would like to not wait on the webpage.
Oh, I know that.
because-
I know, that's why I asked her about that. So she's going to check. I think the website can be considered a capital improvement,
That'd
but
be
she's
great.
going to check. And I would like to see, Kim, don't get upset,
What?
that we have the website and we're able to link our phones to the website so that everybody can get emails and everything all the time, as
Phone
opposed
messages?
to
Everything?
us checking, huh?
What?
Our iPhones, if we had to invest in something that we could actually link into our system so that we could get emails no matter where we are.
Oh, you guys get emails?
No, you too.
I get emails now.
I know, but on your
On your
phone.
phone.
I do.
You're totally making like you don't understand what I'm
I
talking
have a
about.
contractor's phone, I will refuse.
You have a Greenwich
We
Township?
would not even
Well, why
have
don't you use a Gmail, like I use?
So we can get, you
Yeah, you
know,
can get anywhere.
Yeah, create a Gmail account and use it that way, like I do. I get all my business emails, Joseph Toriel at
we can talk
Gmail.
about the security of that later, but
Let's not break in.
Okay.
first let's put our
Understood.
minds around the wrapping of the
Okay.
website
Thank you.
and the interaction with people having possible, so they can answer even when they're sleeping, and it works.
Run this by me like an out of public meeting.
I didn't want to bring it up before.
So are we gonna now schedule another meeting?
Yes.
Because we
I
really,
have one more appropriation.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, this is one of your biggest appropriations, your reserve for uncollected taxes.
Right.
This is a huge, huge appropriation, and the taxpayers pretty much control this entire appropriation. It's $625,000. That's a huge amount of their taxes that go towards that. Is everyone familiar with what that actually is?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's a non-spending appropriation, and it acts, in a small business setting, it would be called a reserve, an allowance for doubtful accounts. Since the municipality has to pay 100% of school tax, 100% of county tax, even when some people pay late or don't pay at all for their
have to
taxes,
pay it anyway.
you have to raise that
Right.
much more. So if we need $100, well, you may have to raise $150 just to account for the people that don't
Don't
pay
pay.
or pay
Mhm.
late.
Right.
So this $625,000 could be reduced dramatically if we had a higher percentage of collections.
What are we
and
at
people
now?
paid on time.
What-
I have no idea.
Well, we were at 98.7%.
That's in the annual financial.
In actual or what was allocated or anticipated? Was that what was actually realized, or was that what was?
That's what Gordon was
That was
collecting. That's the
realized.
rate,
Okay.
what Gordon was collecting at 98.7%.
So if we collected more on time and more just in general, that would drop.
And we anticipate that those upgrades to the system and to the automation and the streamlining of that system will
That
be
should
able to
help.
do that.
Shouldn't there be interest, late penalties
there
and
will
interest
be
assessed?
automatically
But we
assessed.
haven't been doing that up until this point?
No, well, the admin system automatically charges interest, so I have no idea.
So it is
about
being
the
calculated.
manual.
Yeah,
For our,
interest is always,
all the payments that go through the admin system are charged interest. And there is an offset
Yeah,
for that.
it
We
was the
also
highest
have
in the state
a
of New Jersey.
revenue for receipts from delinquent taxes.
I don't know what it is
That's
now,
based-
but I know when Gordon was the sole collector was that.
That's based on what your delinquent taxes were from the prior year. This is based on a calculation that takes a couple of things into consideration. What your actual collection rate is, what you anticipate your school and county taxes to increase.
So we don't know right now what our delinquent rate, or what the dollar amount is as far as what's delinquent? Do we know that?
I can figure it out, I don't have it off the top of my head. But yeah, that's in the annual financial statement too, that everybody get a copy of, that's,
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna request that we, as a group individually, email to Lorraine any questions that we have in advance of our next meeting, so if there's a possibility that she can be prepared for that meeting with the answers to all of our questions, we can then,
Crank it
it
out.
would be a wonderful thing if we can get this all done, but I don't really see that that's, with some of the research that has to be done, it may be sooner rather than later that we need to have the meeting. But let's try to get questions out to you and so that you're prepared for the next meeting. And not that you weren't tonight, you did a great job.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent.
Can I ask one question, though, just as it's related to the discussion tonight? So when I spoke with you earlier this week, you said that you thought we were at about a 3 cent or 3.7 cent gap. But when I look at what we just talked about tonight, and if I just round up to 300,000, you're talking 5 cents.
Yeah, it
gap.
was actually, when we started tonight, we were at 6.2. The reason for that is I didn't have the 100,000 for the emergency from last
appropriation,
year.
right.
I didn't have that added in, that's about a cent and a half. And I had an error in my formula for my addition that I didn't find out until I did the departmental study tonight, that I was trying to get the pie chart ready for.
Right.
That I saw that I had $46,000 that wasn't being picked up in my total.
Got it.
Understood.
Well, we appreciate this work.
Yes.
This is,
I really do.
a good starting point for us, and let's
And
try to
Michael,
make a date.
thank you for,
I just hope that they both work out the way we
I'm
talked
sure
about. That
it'll
would be
amount to
beautiful.
something, and every bit will help.
Well,
Everything
yeah.
will help.
So where are we now in terms of?
How about the 14th?
Oh, now, really? Really?
He's looking at this.
Monday the 14th.
Monday the 14th, really?
Why?
Which Monday the 14th?
It's her birthday.
Oh, that's why we moved the sewer subcommittee, right?
That's
Oh,
why you
the
made
sewer
it through
subcommittee meeting is that
The
day.
14th.
That's because I have it on my calendar. That's how
I
I.
understand.
So you don't want to have cake and.
I don't mind, I really don't mind, because there's nobody, there's, you know, there's
Her
nothing
night's
going
ruined
on.
anyway with sewer subcommittee, so what difference does
So
it
it
make?
doesn't really matter, I'm just,
It's
we
five.
can go out for a drink after, that's,
Did we
that's
start at 5:30 or 6? When do those meetings start?
6, because Joe can't be there till 6.
And is an hour enough time for your sewer subcommittee?
Is an hour gonna be enough time?
You've been away.
Should be.
Okay, so we can have pizza delivered at 6:45, birthday cake 7:30.
What are we talking about?
I'll make the
Monday
cake.
the
They want to
14th.
have the meeting on the
And it's
14th.
6.
I'll make
After
the
the
cake.
sewer subcommittee meeting.
Oh, after the sewer subcommittee, and whose birthday is it? I'm sorry.
It's
Elaine's.
Elaine's. I'll make the cake.
My dad's birthday.
Okay, I'll,
Today's my daughter's birthday.
I will,
Candy's father's birthday too.
I will treat, I will treat for pizza.
I'm not.
I'm making the cake.
You'll bring the, can we have one? Is it okay? Can we do that? Okay.
No.
So you're gonna get together.
Can't do that.
We all did.
No.
No, Frank, Frank is such a buzzkill.
We could introduce an ordinance to amend the existing ordinances.
Can we do that? Can we do a first reading
No, there
tonight?
is no, I'll have the meeting at the American Legion.
Okay.
I think it might be.
I will bring the, I will treat for pizza on the
And I'm
14th.
making the cake.
Okay.
Have fun.
So is that what we're doing then on the 14th since
At what time? 7?
7 o'clock?
Sewer
Okay.
subcommittee,
We got enough
6
time
or
to
7.
maybe I'll finish in an hour?
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
It's been two.
Who made the motion?
Motion for
Okay.
what?
Fine.
To have the meeting, how are you didn't say a word, what about the 14th? I'm just, you know.
Are you okay on the 14th?
Okay, all right.
Tom's not
Yeah, how
gonna
about you
won't
the
be.
Dan's
14th?
figuring out what he wants on his
be,
pizza.
Tom's not
No,
gonna be.
I'm already writing it in budget meeting.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, we can have a
I'm
quorum,
gonna meet
whatever.
him,
All right.
separately about his line items.
Okay.
And,
We're still waiting for Dan, right?
For me, 4.
no, Dan's good.
Oh, you're okay. I thought you were checking your calendar.
Yeah,
No, I'm writing it in my calendar.
Oh, okay, all right,
It's a
so.
workshop, right?
Can we advertise both days, no?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Always.
Do it
Oh,
always.
I know that.
Always.
Yeah, always.
That's nothing.
Okay,
That's a given.
so that's what we're gonna do then.
I've got flexibility
All right.
in there.
So you need a motion.
That's all.
I'll make a motion to schedule a special meeting for Monday, May 14th at 7 o'clock.
I second.
Do I have to do roll call?
Yeah, do roll call.
Roll call.
Perez,
Yes.
Siegel,
Yes.
Miliani. Yes. Lori,
Yes.
Freeland.
Yes. And by then, that should give you enough time to get a handle on this 93 and 150. Are you being sarcastic? I mean, can you,
Yeah.
you'll be okay, all right.
I'll really,
All right.
I'll really come.
All right,
I just-
so,
Some out of migrants.
Can we look at upgrading our Microsoft Office package from 2003 up to
Yes.
2010?
Keeps having
Oh,
to
what's the
convert it.
cost?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we
I'll
talked
talk
about,
to Jeff Jewell.
How many,
Yeah.
how many copies?
just take it out of Kim's budget.
No, she hasn't.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? Oh, wait, she's not done?
The bill paying.
Bill paying.
Oh, we have to authorize the bills.
Payment of bills and claims.
Oh
Did you
my
guys
God.
really just adjourn?
No.
We didn't do it.
guys just adjourned?
I'm making the motion.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
I'll second it.
You're good. No.
She punches my.
Roll call.
Perez.
Yes.
Siegel.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Royello.
Yes.
In light of the evening, maybe we'll just table the executive session item.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry, we actually discussed that before you arrived,
Yeah.
but it wasn't on the record, so,
Okay.
so thank you. We will table the executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
File, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, I can turn this.